My favorite sensory regulatory practice? Yes, brewing a cup of herbal tea in the morning and at night might cost me the ability to vote in the next Nigerian general elections. Oops. Delectable, welcome to this episode of AuDHD Wellness. Yes, today I want to talk about herbal teas, puttering, and self-regulation, right? The connection between all three and how it not only regulates your hormones but also your nervous system, your ADHD nervous system. So you probably loved that intro, and I'm going to get a bit more into that, but let's in the invisible P in AuDHD, which is the segment of Delectable that delves deeper into like identity, politics, Nigerian legislation, social dynamics, and things like that. But I want to focus on the wellness and regulation aspect of that conversation in today's chat. So it's been quite a hectic evening, but I miss you. I miss you, Delectable. So I want to chat with you as I debone fish. Again, puttering. So let's start first with why I absolutely love brewing tea and how it is my favorite sensory regulatory practice. ADHD makes me always pick things in two aspects. First of all, number one, interest, like how I'm starting that statement that is very loaded and deep with an entry point of interest, which is brewing teas. And also another aspect is it just skipped my mind, but it will probably come back. Two things: a point of interest, and yes, personal. You relate through personalization, personal relation to a particular conversation. Those are the two ways. I try to make this conversation flow as authentically ADHD as it could, because I want to represent a form of communication that not only gives you clear, concise information or things that support you with your sensory regulatory neurological needs, but and how you're living, delectably, but also to show you what it's like also be that ADHD person, communicating, etc., etc. So let's go into why I love herbal teas. First of all, I have to go into the background of why I love herbal teas. I've been drinking herbal teas every day since December 2024, when I was healing from burnout and hormonal imbalance, and also healing little growths of fibroids in my womb that was also related to hormonal balance, IBS, and just the burnout. My hormones were not getting digested, they were over the whack. My liver was stressed with a lot of anger. I was at that point on a break from all advocacy efforts of mine because of how much anger I had burned through my health, and just a lot of intense work schedule and things like that. So I started drinking herbal teas. Started first with cinnamon tea, shifted from cinnamon tea to added Aidan fruit tea, which is great for healing fibroids and treating fibroids without surgery when they're at a particular size. Yes, and it did heal my fibroids and it did help balance my hormones. Also, orange tree Mistletoe tea. Both teas I now sell and things like that under my health and wellness company, Connecther. I've mentioned that before. Anyway, so tea was a thing. I would wake up in the morning, path it down the stairs, come to my kitchen, pot around the kitchen, put the water in the kettle, put it on fire, whether it's the electrical, if there's electricity, if there's no electricity, I put it up on the gas to boil in the kettle, and just put it around. While I'm doing that, I might see, okay, I need to clean the top of my spice containers. I do that. Oh, I've not swept. I sweep. Oh, let me pull up the blinds. I do that. Oh, I've not even had my morning walk or my stretch. I go and do that, and I, siphon energy from the sun and things like that. So that's basically what puttering is. Puttering is the slow demand, low stakes movement that is very soothing for your regulatory system. You probably do it And it might look like aimlessness to somebody else, like you might have moments where you do it in public as a way to regulate yourself, where your nervous system is just slowly up or recalibrating itself to a more regulated state. And someone could walk in and be like, why are you pacing? Or why you're walking up and down, or what are you doing? Especially if you're shifting from cleaning the covers of the spice bottles or containers to then mopping, because when you saw the covers of spice containers, the dust on it, probably it reminded you of like, oh, dust on the floor, so you started to mop, and you just potted through all these different things, going through different senses and feelings and textures and weights that end up supporting your nervous system. So we could go on and on about puttering, what starts it, deeper support it does for your nervous system. But that is about tea. We're talking about tea. So the process of brewing the tea, from getting the tea, either the tea out of the bags, the tea packs, and the tea bags, how I bag it with Connecther, or if it's the loose tea, producer's tea, like I like to call it, that I'm spooning up. So that whole process, I put it through so many things. By the time I'm done, I feel better, I feel more awake, I feel more grounded. I've gone through so many weights, textures that I like, weights that I like, either I have to carry something, or etc., etc. It's just really regulating for my nervous system, the process of brewing the tea. So to me, it is more than a cup of tea. It is basically nervous system regulation support, right? So whether I'm brewing the tea and as I'm brewing the tea, the whole process of brewing the tea involves a lot of puttering, as I said, or even when I'm drinking it, especially at the end of the day. I can't even explain how suited it is to just putter around my kitchen in the evening, barefoot, and just do that, still in like the clothes I've worn all day, and I've not even unwrapped like my natural hair from whatever style I've coiffed it in. The act itself, it just slows me down. It is very rhythmic, right? You're spooning the tea, if it's loose tea, or you're putting the bag in the cup. It's rhythmic, so it helps like the brain, it helps the nervous system, and even helps the body soften. In that process, I can realize if I still have like a harsh breath that I'm like, that's coming in short bursts, and then I can slow down my breathing. Now, don't even get me started on how my brain just feels so good. It's low demand, so the novelty of doing, being drawn to different tasks and doing them while I'm doing an overall thing, but not in a way that I had a goal. That is the key to puttering. It's not like you have a goal and there's a definite thing in it. So it's like this low stakes, low reward, which is great for not shifting into your ADHD into this hyper-focus, or if you're autistic forward leaning, you don't shift into overly focusing on like structures, like, which happens to me sometimes. If this is not done, I can't do this, and we're stuck. Like, that sort of thing, where I literally need to give myself some form of break, regulating exercise, or deep breathing, something to soothe myself, and then lean more into my ADHD side to get the task done. If the structure, nothing can be done for that moment. So puttering just cuts all of that out. It gives you this boost of dopamine, especially when I'm making the tea in the morning. Oh my goodness. It is a great way to boost my dopamine. I'm not even getting into how the vitamins work with our hormones and neurotransmitters. Now, the vitamins in the tea per se that I drink, I'm just talking about like the practice, because I am able to then do all these things. I've cared for my environment at my own space. My nervous system feels grounded. I feel good about that. I have oxytocin. Mostly it's oxytocin also that I use to regulate my system. I read it somewhere that women regulate their systems majorly with oxytocin, and that not dopamine, and that completely shifted like my life, to be honest. And I start my mornings, especially as a creative, with something small, with puttering, because puttering allows me to nurture myself and my environment around me, right? And it doesn't only just come in brewing tea or doing chores. Like, it's not really chores per se, but you end up doing certain aspects of chores. Anywho, that is on the regulatory aspect, both of my senses and my nervous system with AuDHD, which is the overlap of ADHD and autism or other aspects of neurodivergence, depending on what your neurology is. Finding out delectable by encouraging you to enjoy your time for puttering, whether it's in the morning or the evening. It makes it a very special time for me, and I hope you also choose a healthy beverage, or as many as you need. Unhealthy, healthy, just mix it up and set alarms for yourself. We're going to go into the role of alarms in relation to supporting your neurology, that is your nervous system, your brain, and how your body functions as someone with ADHD, more on AuDHD Wellness. But if you're not subscribed, if you're not following, do just that. And expect the conversations in the invisible P in AuDHD, as I mentioned.